Oh,
Oh.
whoops. Howdy, folks.
Hey, everybody.
I forgot to hit the intro video. First time ever pressing the go live button on my end.
Got a first timer here. We'll just skip the intro this time. It's Scared Money Don't Make Money with Ben, Alex, and not Brendan for now.
Not yet. Soon.
He'll be on in a little bit. Thank you to our sponsors, our title sponsor, Kubota Dealers of South Dakota. The orange brand that you can always depend on. They have all the equipment that you need for any lawn and garden needs, or any heavier machinery as well. Go to Kubota for all of those needs. Thank you very much.
Then,
yeah.
Other show sponsor, best sports bar in South Dakota, Cubbies. There's kind of helping with Downtown Chamber of Commerce hosting a big watch party this weekend. So if you aren't able to make it out to Cedar Falls, I know my wife and I talked about maybe depending on how naps and stuff go in the afternoon, head down there, watch some of the game. Seems like it's going to be a good event. We live close enough. If the kids are not behaving, we can get back home over halftime. But regardless, you should go there because Cubbies has the best food, best drinks, best atmosphere, best place to watch a football game, especially Jack's game in all South Dakota.
100% cannot beat Cubbies. That is for sure. While we wait for Brendan to get here, we'll go ahead and recap the picks from last week. We had Central Arkansas did not cover against Lamar. They won, but they only won by 20, and the spread was 21. So Lamar covered there. We all picked Central Arkansas.
And they should have covered. I mean, I guess they really didn't want to run up the score. They took off the gas late and just coasted. They didn't basically play in the entire fourth quarter. That should have been on bad beats, which I don't know if anyone else is. We're getting off topic already, but we're filling airtime until Brendan shows up. Anyone else watch Bad Beats this week? I'm kind of a religious follower of it. I got to watch it every Monday after Monday Night Football, if that's a shock to anybody. But Montana State got some love on there, and they've got Big Sky schools on there all the time. So I don't know if Van Pelt or Stanford Steve follows a lot of Big Sky, but Montana State, I don't know if you caught some of that. They were kind of getting chastised for not doing what Central Arkansas did, and they scored a touchdown with like 5 seconds left and kind of ran up the score, and it ended up pushing them to whatever the spread was. I don't remember. I think it was 17.5, but
yeah, no, I haven't caught it lately, but UC Davis, we kind of called that one. Well, Brennan and I did. You did not. You believed in Idaho.
I did.
They let you down.
That's okay. They'll bounce back. I think I was the only one that stayed up to watch the game, at least of our group, because I was texting the group chat about halfway through the third quarter. No one was. I was like, all right, everybody's in bed. Idaho, I thought, was the better team in that. They, especially on the offensive and defensive line, but they kind of just made some bad mistakes, made some very inopportune turnovers, and obviously we love Jason Eck here, but he got out coached a little bit too. And all that happens, you get beat by 2 against a good team. And that's not even necessarily a bad loss, I don't think, especially with their schedule's been earlier this year. It's been a grinder, and UC Davis is really good. UC Davis jumped into the top 10 for a reason because of that win. Idaho's still very good. UC Davis is very good.
Yeah. I think UC Davis is underrated. Like you said, Idaho is still a good team. They've had a really difficult schedule, and it, interestingly enough, I mean, it kind of continues this week, and for Central Arkansas too. This will be 2 weeks in a row that we pick Central Arkansas and Idaho games.
Yeah.
They've had a really tough schedule. So outside of that, well, actually, before we get too far here, I do have some brand new JIAI to share with you.
Let's do it.
Fresh off the presses, we have a legit JIAI title slide. I don't know if you remember, it was usually like a some foreign language or whatever, but with the paid subscription for AI image generators, you can actually generate a decent image. This, of course, is Brendan and I gloating over Alex and the Kenkel model there, because Brendan and I went 4 and 3. Alex and the model went 3 and 4. Had to throw that one in there. And the first game we recapped was Central Arkansas punching the Lamar Cardinals. And the second one we just did there is here. This was funny because I did not put in an Idaho Vandal that looks like a leprechaun, and it just did that for some reason. It must know.
Looks like the Browns mascot.
It must know that Chris Hammond is a big Idaho guy.
That too.
But yeah, the sad Idaho Vandal with all the Band-Aids. Idaho's a little beat up injury wise, so that's what we've got for JIAI thus far. Brendan, welcome to the show.
Yeah, sorry, I had a friend over or a coworker over for dinner. He came down, and that went a little bit late. So I will have my co-host with me as well, of course. But also keeping an eye on the Brewers potentially getting to the NLDS for the first time in half a century. So
is that close to being done here?
Yeah, it's in the ninth. Devin Williams is on the mound.
Oh, they got a runner on first, though. Uh-oh.
Yeah. Two-run game, so she's tight.
I like your hat, Brendan. Where'd you snag that at?
I got that. Chad gave it to me. I believe it was one of the Did they give? I think this might have been the ones they gave away at the wrestling meet.
I don't remember, but not to get off topic again already, but wrestling teams doing their yearly apparel orders. They have several apparel orders, and that's due today, I think. So get my 30 seconds of the takedown in on this one.
Find that on Twitter, I assume?
Go to the wrestling Twitter or Facebook accounts, and they'll have a link there.
There you go. Perfect. There's Zena.
There's the co-host. She's mom's
hey, girly.
Getting a break, so
even got the football jammies on and everything.
Yeah.
There you go. Hey, Zena. All right. Let's move on. Recapping, we had Houston Christian taking down Indiana State. And as punishment for Indiana State losing that game, Houston Christian made Larry Bird work at CBS. This was as close as AI could get to Larry Bird, apparently. Even with the paid subscription, they're not that great, I guess.
You were bragging on Twitter. I just noticed this. You were bragging on Twitter about how great your picks were. Yeah, you copied every one of mine.
Hey, copied.
What a copycat.
You can't say copied when I didn't even pick them.
Yeah, that's right.
Fair.
That's right. That's true.
Yeah, re-picked them. So that was the best I did all year. So I should maybe continue that. But anyway, the next Deb asks the star of the show, what are her picks? Maybe Zena will have to pick a game for you.
I'll have to figure out a way to get her to choose.
There you go.
She's just mesmerized by the red light on the mic. So nice. It was the same thing when I had her on with Borg. She's just locked in on it right now. Lots of ways, Zena.
Next up, we had Missouri State beating Youngstown State only 38-31. They did not cover. However, the Penguins are losing the feathers that they do have.
I'm proud of you.
Yeah. UND scored a whole bunch of points, 72 of them against Murray State, and covered. And the Hawk took the horse for a ride.
That is interesting. That is.
I like how the Hawk
that
has
is-
4 feet.
I
It
wouldn't
looks
worry
like
about
a Hawker. That poor horse is getting
Then
sodomized.
we had USD whooped up on Southern Illinois 42-13. USD covered. The Coyote dismantled the old Sock Lukey.
Sock Lukey. Oh no.
And last but not least, we had NDSU taking down Illinois State pretty easily, 42-10, and covering. And we had the Bison bucking off Brock Spack off the back of the Bison there.
The SPAC stash goes down.
Yeah. So with that, let's move on to this week's games. And Brendan, I tell you what, I went through and already picked all of my picks. So I will pick first.
Okay.
So that you don't feel like I'm copying your picks. If we end up with the same picks now, it's your fault.
That's fair.
So what we've got first off is Northern Arizona going to Idaho, who's coming off of the loss against UC Davis. UC Davis is favored by 7, Idaho is favored by 7 at home. I'll go ahead and pick just to get it out of the way. I'll take Idaho at home to bounce back. I trust that they're still a good team, and I like them to win by more than 7 at home against Northern Arizona. Alex, what does the model say?
Vandals by 9.62, so it's going to agree with you, and as will I, Ben. I don't think Northern Arizona is bad. I think they're ranked for a reason, and they've earned it. But I think there's just such a disparity between the top 10 teams and kind of the bottom 15 to 25 this year that I mean, you saw it in that NDSU, Illinois State, and USD SIU games last week. That talent disparity is just there this year. So that's kind of what I'm going with too. And like I said, Idaho, even in defeat, they looked solid last week.
If this was at the Walk-Up Sky Dome, then I'd feel differently. But since it's in Idaho and it's their homecoming, I fully expect Idaho to cover in this one. They'll win by 7 at least.
All in agreement there. Then we've got Central Arkansas going to Abilene Christian. Central Arkansas is a road favorite, but only by 2.5. And it seems like an easy pick with Central Arkansas. I'm going to go against it, though. I'm going to take the home dog in Abilene Christian. I think Central Arkansas has had a pretty easy schedule, and I think Abilene Christian's a good team, so I will take Abilene Christian at home. Alex, what's the model say?
Model will disagree. Model says Bears by 7.67, and I will also disagree with you, Ben. I think Abilene Christian's proven themselves to be a pretty good, pretty capable team at this point. But Central Arkansas might have the best offense in the FCS between McIlvain and Shanderick Powell, and then their defense is playing really, really well right now too. They've got that one D end, totally drawing a blank on his name. Zach McKinnell, or no one else in the comments smarter than me is here to correct me, but I'm totally drawing a blank on his name. He's one of the top Buchanan candidates right now. I think they show out. I said last week that last week was going to be Central Arkansas's last ranked game potentially, and then, Abilene Christian goes and plays really well last week, and they stayed ranked. David Walker, thank you, Seth Meyer. I knew someone would throw it out there for me. But just to summate my thoughts, Central Arkansas, they're so much more talented, and Abilene Christian has struggled to finish games this year.
Brendan, what happened?
Devin Williams, the best closer in baseball, just gave up a 3-run shot.
To Pete Alonso?
You are kidding.
Oh, no.
Hopefully Jackson Churio's up, otherwise we're doomed. Give me Central Arkansas in this game to cover. They're too good. I do want to point out what's interesting is Shenderick Powell he's a stud. I mean, he's a monster. Can you not do that? He is a stud. He's a monster. But they're talking about how he might have a 2,000-yard season. Didn't Zach Zenner have 3 2,000-yard seasons in a row and never was even in real contention for the Walter Payton Award? And that was like the valley and the peak of its powers that he did that. And now all of a sudden we're talking about how Shenderick Powell should be a shoe-in for the Walter Payton. I don't
I
know.
didn't say that. I said he was a front.
I'm not talking about you. This is a general feeling going around.
Sure.
Yeah, not you. And I'm not saying he shouldn't win it. I'm just saying it's going to kind of burn my ass if he gets the Walter Payton for getting close to 2,000 yards when Zenner did it like 3 years in a row and then was never in real contention for it. But Central Arkansas feels kind of similar to a Zenner team to me in the UAC. So I think they're going to dog walk ACU in this game.
Well, I'm all alone on that one, but I don't mind it. I need to make up some picks.
It's a bold pick.
Next up, we've got the first Valley game. We've got Indiana State going to Youngstown State, which is pretty much the toilet bowl of the Missouri Valley. I think these are probably the worst two teams. Murray State might fight them for it.
Say that's Murray State erasure.
You think Murray State's the worst team?
I think they're worse than Youngstown. I don't think they're their worst team. Well, we'll get into it. I think Indiana State's really bad right now.
Yeah. However, I'm taking Indiana State to cover. I don't think Youngstown State's good enough to win by 13 against anybody, even Indiana State. I will take the points. What's the model saying?
Model's just barely going to take Youngstown, 14.62. Was it 13 or 13.5?
13.
I always ask that like it matters. When really who's splitting hairs over the hook?
You're just looking for more time to pick.
Right? I don't know. Youngstown's offense at least looked alive last week. Indiana State's offense is not that good to where Youngstown will hold them back enough. I think I'm going to rock Youngstown too, but gosh, I don't like that line. I would not bet that line.
Yeah, this is the game of, I guess someone has to cover. I don't know if either of these teams have covered all year. I'll take Youngstown. They're at home, I guess. So I will take it.
You're taking Youngstown at home?
Yeah, I'll take Youngstown at home.
On my own again, man, I'm going to gain a bunch of picks this week.
Or you're just in the hole.
Tank myself for the rest of the season. Next up, we've got USD going to Murray State, and USD is a whopping 23-point favorite on the road. I hated this line. I don't like it, but I think that USD keeps rolling. I like the way that they're playing right now, and Murray State has, they gave up 72 points last week, so I don't think they'll do enough to keep within 20.
Model has Yotes by 22.47, so it thinks this is a good line, but it is going to take Murray. I don't know. I'm going to agree, not based off the best logic, but USD. Everyone talks about UND and USD or UND's home and away splits. USD is almost kind of the same, but traditionally until 2 of the last 3 years they weren't winning the home games. They were just, they're playing them really tight. Think all the years that they'd play us super tight down there, and then they come up here and we'd win by 40. And for that reason, they let Murray State hang around for the first half on D-Days last year. And then last year on the road at Indiana State, they only won by 7. So I think this kind of a little bit of, USD's fan base is All three of them are really excited, as they should be, because they're off to a great start to the season, coming off a big ranked win. But I think they have a little bit of a hangover game here. Looking forward to D-Days week after. I also think Murray State covers.
I'm taking USD. I have no faith in Murray State. I hear you. It's on the road, and USD tends to be a different animal on the road, but it's Murray State. So I'm going to take the Yotes to cover in this one.
I like it. Then we've got Illinois State going to Southern Illinois. Southern Illinois is a 4-point favorite at home. I don't like this one either. It's really hard to tell where these teams are going to be going from here. I do still like Illinois State, even though they got beat pretty handily by NDSU. I think I'll trust Illinois State to at least stay within 3 points here.
Model says Salukis by 4.59, so it is going to take the Salukis to cover, and I disagree. I agree with you, Ben. Both these teams are pretty injured, but Illinois State has more of its core still intact. They've got Tommy Rittenhouse is playing some okay ball. Daniel Sopkowitz is a really good receiver. And, even though it didn't ever feel close, Illinois State kind of made NDSU earn it for most of the first 2.5 quarters. Whereas Southern Illinois last week just got demolished. Their offensive line, Southern Illinois' offensive line is really bad right now. DJ Williams' injury has only helped magnify that. I think Illinois State doesn't just cover. I think Illinois State wins outright. And this is a huge game for both these teams. Winner is pretty easy road the rest of the way to playoffs. Or Illinois State does. SIU has a tougher road, but they'll have 2 ranked wins at that point, and the loser's probably on a playoff life raft. So this is a huge game, and it's a rivalry game.
Yeah, I'll take Illinois State to win outright here as well. I do not like what I like Southern Illinois with their injuries and everything. I think even though Illinois State's banged up too, I think Illinois State's in better shape than Southern Illinois is.
All right, then we've got a massive game in the Missouri Valley. We've got the nickel. Do they call it the nickel game? They play for the.
They don't play for it anymore. No.
What do they call it? Does it call it anything?
It doesn't have a name anymore.
It
used to be the nickel game, but it doesn't have a name anymore.
I guess we don't really have a game for our game against USD either. But
it keeps changing because they keep selling the corporate sponsorship rights. I don't even know what it is anymore.
Well, anyway, UND is going to NDSU. NDSU is looking for revenge from last year. NDSU is an 8-point favorite at home. We talked about this a little bit on the B Team podcast the other night, and we were talking about it being, Brendan, what did you call it?
It's a spicy meatball.
There it is. NDSU being only favored by 8, the thought was, maybe this would be a good spot to take NDSU. I'm going to disagree. I think that UND's offense is good enough to keep up with NDSU, and I wish that I could just take the over because I think there's going to be a lot of points scored here. I don't think NDSU's defense is going to do enough to win by more than 8, so I will take UND.
Oh, Benjamin. So the model has NDSU 12.3, which I don't know where you pulled lines from this week, but that's much closer. I think I saw earlier today FanDuel had this game 12.5.
I just pulled him from the same spot I've been pulling him from, the FCS
sure
sportsbook. Yep.
No, and I was just curious. Like I said, I'd seen someone had posted FanDuel had it 12.5, and someone was arguing that's kind of steep, and I thought, not really. Like I said, model agrees. I have some bias there, obviously, but model says 12.3, and I agree. UND's offense against good competition has been very one-dimensional, and it's going to get turned into a track meet, kind of as you discussed. But yeah, Zach McKinnell is the same wavelength as me. I don't trust Ramfo at all, especially a big moment like this, and he hasn't been there. NDSU looking for revenge in the Fargo Dome. I think NDSU by 2 touchdowns is a pretty easy cover here. I'd love to be wrong. I guess not that it matters. We got to play both teams regardless, but gosh, I just don't see it.
The closest game that UND has played in Fargo since turning D1 has been 21 points. And now, add on top of it, this is the first time it's a revenge game for NDSU, who's had to hear about it all year. Way worse than they hear about it from us because they're right next door. This is going to be an ass kicking of epic proportions. Flip me, I don't care. This is going to be a shithousing. They're going to sit there and double Belquist. They've got the secondary to cover everybody else, and they're going to just lock in on the run, and UND is not going to get a damn thing done. They're going to get their asses kicked up front like they always do in the Fargo Dome. They're going to fall to pieces in the noise because they're not in the Alaris, and they're going to get rocked. Right. Zena is also
there's a lot of agreement there.
NDSU. I love a 12.5 point spread. This is going to be a shithousing. They're going to get wrecked. It's going to be bad. I hope that UND beats them because that'd just be more fun, but it's not going to happen. We've watched this too many times. We've said too many times, oh, this is going to be a good game. And then they get shithoused, and it's going to happen again. They're going to get exposed. We saw Montana's not that good because they almost lost to Eastern Washington.
We'll see.
I'm not a believer. They are going to absolutely get. I mean, honestly, the fact that this is going to be televised is almost like it's going to be like televising a crime.
Jesus. So Brendan,
I don't think it's going to be
telling
that.
you right now. It's going to be that bad. It's going to be 49-14. I bet.
The Rev agrees.
You've got Polasek as the head coach, who is a very intense individual, and all they've been hearing about is losing to. That was absolutely quintessentially UND's Super Bowl last year, and they've relished that victory for the whole year. They're gonna get so shithoused. Oh, it's going to be terrible.
We shall see. I think that it's a line where they want you to take NDSU. And I think UND can keep up, but we'll see.
They're going to take a bath on that.
Chad, I'm not throwing up that comment. Last but not least,
10 pounding.
There you go. Last but not least, we have SDSU going to the Unidome. And before we talk about this game, we need to get into the last of the JI. Let's see here. I forgot to show this one. This was SDSU last week, sitting at home, watching some games, taking a rest on the bye week.
His legs are tripping me out.
Yeah, they do look like they're part of the chair. It looks like a chair that you're supposed to sit in, but then he comes alive.
Right.
Anyway, this week we go to the Unidome, and we all know what that's about. It's about that weird looking stain at the center of the field on the Unidome. The Jackrabbit saying, brother, my prediction is that the Jackrabbits are going to beat down the Panthers, and they're going to take care of old Skeletor over there. With that, we've got SDSU, like I said, favored by 23.5. I'm very torn on this one. I could honestly see it going both ways. I could see a blowout, and I could see UNI making it a game. I think that we see UNI try to muddy up the game. I think they try to play ball control offense. They haven't turned the ball over a whole lot this year, and the only way they'll get in trouble is if SDSU gets ahead real early, and they have to try to catch up. But I think their game plan will be just to keep everything in front of them, try to shorten the game up, and so I will take UNI to cover.
Model says good guys 19.4, so it's going to take the Panthers to cover. I was hemming and hawing until I saw this comment. Deb Gronowski says Mark's going to play well on his birthday.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Hey,
How can you not check
hey,
now?
that's why we wait until the.
Captain 11 on his birthday. Panthers have no shot. Jack's cover.
I mean, they have no shot of winning. That is for sure, especially on Mark's birthday. But
okay, so before, yes, Ariel's asking for an animal fact. There's no such thing as a black panther because a panther is a mountain lion, and the only thing that is black is melanistic jaguars. So there's no such thing as a black panther. So that's your animal fact for the day. No, it's upsetting to me too. Why would you name yourself after something that doesn't exist? Ask the Moorhead Dragons. Okay,
their name is the Black Panthers. I thought they were just
their
the UNI
Panthers.
Panthers.
Always black. Their Panthers always black.
Oh, the mascot. Got you.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, their mascot.
I was gonna say.
Anyways, so anyways, 23 and a half. That's so many points, but with it being Mark's birthday, I do think with the bye they've ironed some things out. So we'll probably win by 21-ish. No, we'll cover. I'll take the Jacks.
Oh, look at that.
I'm going to eat a lot of points on this one. It's been working out so far. I've been right the last 2 times on this.
It has. I mean, like I said, I honestly can see SDSU breaking it open and winning by 27 to 34 points or something like that. And just, I mean, because the thing is, our defense is playing so well that to cover by 24, we might only need to score 31 points. And so that's a consideration too. But like I said, I really do think that UNI's game plan will be to slow down the game and muddy it up and reduce the amount of possessions that we have. And unless we see like a special team score or a couple big plays by SDSU, I think they'll keep it within 23. But we shall see. I would love to see us win by 40, but yeah. That's all I got.
Yeah, I just want to go curl up in the fetal position after the Brewers lost their fifth consecutive time, blew a lead in the playoffs and lost. So
that's in the ninth inning too. That's rough.
Devin Williams out and you blow the lead to go to the DS, and I came down here going all happy like it's finally going to happen. Nope. You cannot trust the Brewers. If you want sure bet on the Mets to make the World Series. Every team that's beaten the Brewers in the playoffs for like the last 6 times has made the World Series.
Not
if you
good.
Want something to be excited about, volleyball team, ladies, 14-0, opened the First Bank and Trust Arena with a sweep of Kansas City tonight. So that's exciting.
I like that.
Shut up and be a Cowboys fan, Rev.
I agree with Ariel. Why isn't their mascot purple? Why is it?
Oh,
I don't know.
Because
are purple Panthers more common than black ones? I don't think
they're equally.
They're the same. They're the same common. They're the same amount of common. So why not?
Anyway, Dallas says everyone will play well for Mark's birthday. That's an order. I like it. We almost finished in under a half hour this time. We did good on time, though. Appreciate everybody for listening. Like, share, subscribe, do all the things. Do we mention all our sponsors that we need to mention?
I missed when we would have mentioned them.
I think so.
We mentioned Kubota.
Yeah,
we mentioned Cubbies.
Did we do Blue Tide Car Wash?
We did not. You should.
Car Wash.
Well, I just got a set of new headlights on the truck, so I got to go and get the rest of the truck looking spiffy with them. So I will be going to Blue Tide Car Wash tomorrow and getting the ride all cleaned up and spiffy. Probably go through the tunnel wash and be real fancy about it, and just to test the install because I've got cheap ones. So they were problematic to put in. So we'll leave that at that. But yeah, so Go down to Blue Tide Car Wash. They have great monthly plans for unlimited car washes. Absolutely worth the money. Can't recommend them enough. They're fantastic for me living on a dirt road. They're really nice in the winter, being able to wash the car as many times as you want because of the road grime from the winter, and you don't care if it's still crappy salt out because at least it's cleaner than it was, and you got unlimited car washes. You can go through as many times as you want, wash the paint off the damn thing. But their brushes are too good. They won't wash the paint off. You're just going to look sparkly clean. So go down to Blue Tide Car Wash in Brookings, Sioux Falls, with multiple tunnel locations in Sioux Falls, plus all the Get and Go locations, plus a location going up in Mitchell, South Dakota. Blue Tide Car Wash, the local car wash, not to mention, unlike a certain red car wash. And I mean, let's be honest, we're Jax fans. We want to go somewhere blue instead of red anyways. So go to Blue Tide Car Wash.
Perfect. Couldn't said it any better. With that, hopefully we see another Jax win on Saturday here, and then it's Hobo Week. So get excited for that. But as we always say, go big, go blue, go
Go
Oh,
Jax.
Jax.